Imagine trying to park a large delivery van, like right inside your living room, and doing it without knocking down a single wall.
Welcome to today's deep dive. We're exploring the hidden engineering behind extreme home theaters for you guys today, specifically looking at a product spec sheet for a Draper Profile Plus projection screen.
Yeah, and I mean, this thing is an absolute monster.
Okay, let's unpack this, because this display is 230 inches diagonally
Right.
in a 2.35.1 CinemaScope format, which is, that super wide panoramic shape you see in actual movie theaters. That comes out to nearly 20 feet wide.
Yeah, and at come the feet wide, you aren't just buying a big TV to hang above the fireplace. You are essentially trying to install a commercial cinema wall inside a house or maybe a church or a corporate boardroom.
Which brings up a massive logistical nightmare. I mean, how do you practically get a 20-foot display through a standard door?
What's fascinating here is the manufacturer's mechanical solution to exactly that problem. Draper designed this behemoth to ship entirely unassembled.
Oh, so it comes in pieces. Exactly. Instead of one impossible-to-move rigid piece, you get these lightweight extruded aluminum baffles, basically the rigid metal skeleton of the frame.
Okay, I'm tracking.
And then the viewing surface itself attaches to that skeleton using a sliding hook and loop system.
Wait, hold on a second. A hook and loop system? Like Velcro? You're telling me a screen that costs, what, $7,638 is held together by the same stuff keeping a pair of toddler shoes on?
I know, right? It
This
sounds...
is a 20-foot canvas, not just sag right in the middle.
Well, it sounds crazy, but the sliding aspect of that hook and loop system is the actual secret. It allows the installers to easily maneuver the individual pieces of tight stairs or elevators and then build the frame on site.
Oh.
Yeah, and then they pull the fabric incredibly taut. The sliding mechanism lets them micro-adjust the tension perfectly across all 20 feet.
So the canvas remains completely flat.
Exactly. No warping and, no sagging at all.
Okay, I get it. But getting a 20-foot aluminum skeleton into the room and stretching the canvas over it is really only half the battle. Because if it's just a giant piece of tight white fabric, it's going to look and sound like an expensive bedsheet.
Spot on. The physical structure just sets the stage for the actual technology here.
And here's where it gets really interesting, because the spec sheet highlights a clear sound nanoperf XT1000V surface, and it describes it as acoustically transparent.
Yeah, that's a huge feature for a setup like this.
So I have to ask, is this just a giant visual screen door? Like, why force sound through the screen instead of just putting some massive speakers around the edges?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, think about what happens when you go to a real commercial movie theater.
Okay.
The voices of the actors seem to come directly from their mouths on the screen, right? They aren't coming from a box sitting in the corner of the room.
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, acoustic transparency means this canvas has thousands of microscopic perforations. It's essentially porous to sound.
Ah, so it allows you to hide your high-end speakers directly behind the image.
Yes, exactly. And it merges the audio and the video into a single point of origin for your brain. That is the true aha moment here.
Oh, wow.
Because if you have ever sat in a nice home theater and wondered why it still just feels like watching a really big TV, well, it's usually because the sound and the picture are physically separated.
Right, so putting them together creates a flawless professional cinema illusion.
It does. And that illusion is further protected by the screen's zero-edge design. It is the completely borderless, mullionless display.
A mullion being one of those thick vertical dividers you sometimes see breaking up large windows or panels.
Exactly. By ditching those and having no thick, distracting border, the screen doesn't look like a clunky billboard.
Which is crucial for that immersive feel.
Totally. In fact, that borderless design offers zero separation if you ever needed to place multiple screens right next to each other.
So, what does this all mean? It means that building an extreme AV setup isn't just about throwing thousands of dollars at more pixels. It is about clever logistical architecture, literally figuring out how to sneak a commercial cinema through your front door.
Yeah, and engineering the material so the technology just disappears entirely.
Leaving you with just the raw experience. And that invisible engineering brings up one final, really intriguing detail from the spec sheet to leave you with.
Oh yeah, the lighting.
Right. The product page notes that this screen supports optional LED backlighting, which is also known as bias lighting.
Which is fascinating when you think about the material.
Exactly, because if the screen is acoustically transparent, meaning it has all those tiny perforations to let sound through, and you add a massive light source behind a 20-foot canvas, how does that trick the human eye? Does projecting light from behind fundamentally change how our brains perceive the contrast and black levels of the movie.
It is a really wild concept to think about.
Next time you find yourself staring at a massive screen, ask yourself, what exactly is the light doing behind that canvas to trip your eyes?